So this is a first for me. Actually, no, it's not a first, but this is like the second time I've recorded an episode with someone in person, and I'm so excited because this is my best friend. It's my best friend Vernon, and y'all.
And this is our first in-person recording because everything has been
virtual. Yeah, so this is
hilarious.
so excited.
Hey
and welcome to another episode of Whiskey Sour Libations and Conversations. I'm your host Dom, and as I stated, this is my best friend.
I'm Vernon, or to some people, VP or Vodka Villain.
Or VP the Gemini. Yes, because that's your name on my phone.
Right.
That is your name on my phone. Yeah. So this is the first episode of 2023, January 2024. And it has been a crazy year. And I felt like it was only right that we do a year in review of 2023. We've had highs, we've had lows, and so has everybody else in the world. So
it's been a year.
It has been a year. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Even just trying to think about like things that happened in the beginning of the year, it's hard to even think back because it's like so much happens just
so
recent.
Much.
So it's hard to even
listen, November alone, like Diddygate, surviving Diddy has just been a thing, and it just keeps coming and coming and coming.
Like, it's a downward spiral ever since then.
Listen, we're gonna, it's in no particular order. These are gonna be events that we remember from 2023. Mm-hmm. So I guess we're gonna start. I'm gonna start the beginning of the year. We had them ugly ass red boots that everybody wanted and or had, that Mischief created. And Mischief is popular for doing a lot of unofficial unauthorized designs, because they had the whole thing where Nike had sued them and Lil Nas X with the devil blood shoes. Yeah, and so they were $350 like foam moon boots that went viral.
I wasn't mad at the boots. I wasn't. I think it's like when you see certain people, it's like, okay, but when it's got to be more and more people, it's like, but I wasn't mad. I think the majority of the people who I saw who had them on, they dressed it well.
Okay.
But one of the things I didn't like, I learned that the way that they fit, you kind of had to cut the back out. And I was like, damn, that's unfortunate. Yeah,
so it was more like it was supposed to be an art shoe as opposed to being something that you was wearing out in
all
public.
The time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people that I saw getting cut out were, never mind. I was going to say, I'm not going to do that.
I wasn't mad at it, but yeah, it came and went.
I'm not sure if I was just confused. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like why they were so big.
Yeah, I'm like, this is a thing. This is interesting. And I, like I said, I like people like being able to have fun. Fashion is about having fun. I think we do take fashion too seriously.
Yeah.
But it's some of it, I was just like, I'm just thinking about, okay, if you wore them on a hot day and you're like it melting, like those are weird things that I think about. But it was like you said, some people could really style them, because like Patrick had them, or was it Cleo? One of them had them. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, this is just still really weird. And then it was warm. Yeah.
I think when I first saw them, I followed somebody showed, it was, I don't know if he's like a TikToker or something, but he does like different fashion moments. So he wore them. And then that's why when I found out that people were cutting them out in the back. But I mean, I like this trend better than the trend they were talking about, like these designers taking trash, like trash bags.
Oh yeah, that's Balenciaga.
Yeah. I don't even like that. I hate when I hear anything about that.
Yeah,
trying to make trash fashion and selling it for quadruple times.
Yeah,
it's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, I can never get into. I think the new wave of Balenciaga confuses me versus and I know that it's just weird to me. Like I'm not, like you said, like I'm not paying $3,500 for some dirty.
Anything.
So it makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
What's one of the
what else happened this year? I just know for me, I mean, to me it was the year of Beyonce.
Oh, yes.
We got a concert and we got a movie. I just felt like she took so much of my money this year.
She did.
It's like I don't need anything else. The visuals should just come out for free at this point. Like
listen, Beyonce has taken so much of my money since the start of this pandemic, because don't forget that was the first drop of Ivy Park with Adidas. And I remember I got my stuff in the mail, and it wasn't like I could even wear it outside because we was inside. Right. So I had like a little shoe in my living room with my stuff.
When did we buy the album? Because remember we bought the box set where you get the album and the shirt, and you said you never got yours.
Yeah, I still never got mine.
When did we order that?
That was last year.
Okay.
Yeah, that was last year. My box is still out there somewhere.
Yeah, and I just knew I was gonna wear like the shirt, the t-shirt at the concert. No, it's all still in the box. The album, the shirt.
I wore the shirt once. The CD is still in the box because Janelle, my sister, had given me her box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, her poor little miserable little crybaby little sister. Never got my box. And it was so crazy because when I emailed Beyonce about it, and then it took them a minute to even get back to me, and then I was like, okay, I haven't had an update. But immediately when I disputed the charge with PayPal, they didn't even investigate. They just gave my money back right away. Well,
there you go.
So it wasn't just me. I wonder if it was like a handful of people that just never got their stuff.
As long as you get that money back, that's all.
But Beyonce, it's just still ongoing, because we're just wondering what's next, because now it's 4 acts. So initially,
I thought it was 3. It's supposed to be 4?
It's 4.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 4 acts.
It's always a guessing game with her, and that's what I love. I love the mystique.
No, I'm tired of this weird Virgo behavior and this perfectionism. I'm over it.
I mean, I'm kind of used to it by now. Of course we expect all these things, but hey, for her, I feel like she gets a pass. She can do it. She can keep us, stringing on along. I mean, who else can do that? Not everybody can string their fans along and their fans still be there waiting and loyal.
I think Taylor Swift could do that probably. Are we gonna put her on the gear as well?
Like to bring her up when it comes to talk to Beyonce.
Listen, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Shame on me. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I don't like that song, because I like that song. Okay. I'm going to say back to Beyonce. I'm going to say that I thought I was over Renaissance, and I'm not over Renaissance because I play Renaissance almost every day still. Oh. But when she dropped My House at the end of the documentary, I'm like, I thought I was ready for the next wave. Is this the intro to the next wave, or are we still living in Act 1 Renaissance? Because my house is giving me down south,
like how we are excited when we found out about the unreleased tracks that she came up with on other albums that didn't come out around that time. Mm-hmm. That's what it's giving me. It's just that it just happened to be after. You know how we learned of certain songs that was on the album that didn't make it, but we'll find it on YouTube, and how we listen to that, and then it makes you want to go back and listen to the album with it. It's kind of giving me that. But I mean, and they played in the club. It's okay to me.
I love it. I think because I feel like the rapping, that part, is like you got and this where it sounds like it would have been perfect would have been like that Homecoming era, because you get big bands. And then you get her rapping a little bit, which is giving hella Trina, by the way. And I was like, because when it came up, I was like, wait, why Trina? Okay. But then when I was like, oh shit, this is Beyonce. Okay. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, so I'm wondering if it is, if we're going to get something else.
I think it's just a little bit of something extra to give us.
Okay.
Just like also she came out with Grown Woman, and Grown Woman was back with the self-titled album. It's like, so she doing little stuff to troll us and play around with us, and like, oh, you can have this. Like, she's giving us crumbs at this point. Like, oh, I'll let y'all.
Like, I'm gonna give you everything but the visuals, and we're tired, and we know you shot the visuals.
Y'all asking for, I'm not gonna give y'all that. I'm gonna give y'all what I want to give y'all.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I am tired.
I ain't gonna even complain.
One of the acts, they saying that Act 2 might be a country album, so we shall see.
Ooh.
You know, giving us Daddy Lesson. I enjoyed Daddy Lesson. And then I enjoyed her performing with the Dixie Chicks. So.
I did enjoy that performance.
Yeah.
I just enjoy about that. I enjoy her being at the Country Music Awards and fucking the shit up, and the white people was mad.
Yeah.
That was such a moment, and she killed it.
And she did. Yeah. She did.
So,
speaking of white people, big year for Barbie.
Oh yeah, it was a big year for Barbie.
Yes, and y'all know I'm a Barbie stan.
You are.
Oh my God!
I knew you were gonna like go crazy and go.
Listen. Prior to that, there was this Barbie dream house that popped up in like different places. So we had one here. There was like, I think it started in Toronto.
Here in
LA. Sorry. I'm not in LA right now. Yeah. I'm in St. Louis. That's funny. And Janelle flew in town.
Right. I remember that. I remember seeing the picture.
This is how crazy we are. Barbies. Like, I remember telling my mom as a kid, like, oh, like, Barbies is my life. Like, I guess it was, and it is. And we dressed in our Barbie pink and went through this whole like live, like adult size, like real size Barbie house. And it had, you know, like the pool. I ain't getting that pool though. Like them down, there's, you know, still COVID out there.
It was a real pool?
It wasn't a real pool, but it was like you can get in it. It was like bubbles and stuff. I don't like that stuff. I don't like stuff like that. That's weird to me. But it took you to like the history of Barbie and different stuff. And I think what the dopest thing about Barbie, which is why I be confused about the Barbie hate, because people are like, oh, it creates body dysmorphia and all this stuff. I was like, shit, she a boss. Like, one day she want to do your hair, next day the bitch on a supermarket, she got a salon, you know, like, so that's how I looked at Barbie always growing up for me. And so I just thought I could pretty much do and be anything, which is literally what they are still what talking
Barbie stood for,
right? So
yeah, I remember I watched the documentary actually. I don't know if it was on Hulu.
It was on Hulu. Yeah,
I did watch that around this time. I didn't go to the movies to go see Barbie when it came out. I waited till it hit streaming.
That's okay. I'm not mad at you.
I knew I wanted to watch and support it, but just if you look at the history, and it's crazy that people come after Barbie and say, well, it promotes this and that. It was only positive, promotion.
Across the board.
But you have other dolls out there that represent other things. So it's like, you don't have to just come after Barbie. There's other representation.
Yeah, it's just the whole concept, like, oh, women, you got to have babies. Like, we all are mammies. Like, we taking care of kids. And we have to do this. You have to do that. And Barbie kind of taught women, and young girls, I'll say that young girls, because whatever, that, you don't have to just be limited to what society is telling you that you have to do. And so, which is such a crazy thing, because like ultimately that's some of the messaging in the movie too. It's just like, you have to figure out who you are. You can do whatever you want to do. And it's crazy how they introduce like patriarchy and all of that stuff, and how men be fucking shit up, because sometimes y'all do, a lot of times. But oh my God, like, I'm not gonna hold you, Vernon. I cried in the middle of that movie.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you know what? When I watched it, it did have a good message. I know my homegirl Mel, she was like she was gonna watch it this weekend now that it's on HBO Max. I was like, oh yeah, it's a good movie. It still had a good message.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, Barbie is iconic. Like, even if you didn't play with Barbie, because I mean, obviously, well, not saying, but no, I would just say this: like, I wasn't allowed to play with dolls and things like that. I remember my stepsister had dolls, and I would like go over her house and play, and I just wasn't allowed. So that's maybe why I'm not excited about Barbie, but just growing up and knowing the history, it's like, oh wow. And then to see the movie, yes, it was fun,
$1 billion,
but it had a really good message with it, and they did a really good job, I think.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And when she was running through like the corporate offices, when she came to Century City, which is a real place, by the way. Oh, okay. They have like one of the best malls in LA. So, and she went and she ran into the woman who would turn out to be Ruth Handler, the creator of Barbie. Oh, yeah, and I knew that's who that was. And I was just like, oh my God, that's Ruth Handler. Like, Rhea, like Perlman is playing Ruth Handler. And then at the end when they're talking and she hosts, oh my God, boo-hoo. Like, snot. Like,
oh wow. So quite a moment for you.
Quite an iconic moment for me. And then just the only thing that was sad was that, you know, my sister and I, we couldn't see it together.
Yeah.
But I dressed up and I went to the movies, got up that morning that it came out, and thoroughly enjoyed myself. I got my life, and it grossed $1 billion.
I love watching people go to these movie premieres
And dress
be on
up.
thing. And like, I loved, of course, when, you know, Black Panther came out and everybody was a black superhero, or, you know, whatever, and dressed, you know, African themed clothing.
Yeah.
I love the pink on the men and the women. For the movie premiere, and the kids. So adorable. So I love like now with Color Purple coming out, people wearing their purple to the movie premiere. So I love stuff like that.
I love that people are getting in that space of just having fun again. I feel like we have been in this space so long where why you wearing that, or why you doing this? It don't require all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, I'm paying my money. I showed up, but I'm going to enjoy and immerse myself in this experience. And I love that. Yeah. I really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else happened this year?
So much. Anita Baker and Babyface falling out.
Okay, so you said that, and I said Anita Baker just in general. I mean, that wasn't her only little thing. She been turning up at these concerts, period. Like, she's been getting her band together, the sound people together. I mean, and as you should. But it's like, you would think that a woman her age and at this caliber of performing, she shouldn't have to go through all that. She shouldn't have to check people in the audience. But, I mean, sheesh.
I remember when they announced this tour, and it was a little bit like maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks before Christmas last year. And I knew that the LA show was December 22nd because I remember I was like, Tahir, are we going to be back to see Anita Baker? Like, I'm thinking that she, you know, people just have a random show on the
Which
whim.
is a big deal, by the way, because she doesn't go, it's not like she goes on a tour every year or every 2 years. It's like.
It's long.
Yeah. It's like stretches of time.
And so he's like, wait, what? Are you sure that's this year? And I'm like, they just announced, like, I think she's just having like a random show. And then I was like, okay, then never mind. But 365 days I waited for that fucking concert. And was seeing so upset because the first show, Babyface and them don't perform, and then they're like, oh, it was, you know, technical difficulties and all these things happen, but then you're seen weird conversations happen more and more, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need for them to figure this shit out because I'm going. Like, we're gonna go, like, you know. And ultimately they get into it. You know, Twitter wars are happening. You know, she's feeling like the baby facers are attacking her and threatening her life.
Right. Which I'm like, how are you going to ask this man to stop his fans from saying anything to you on Instagram? Like, everybody don't have that type of control over
people in general.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, does Babyface even interact with his fans that much? I'm like, it ain't like you was asking Nicki Minaj to like calm the barbs down. It ain't like we was asking Cardi to, you know, calm the carbs now. I don't know what her fans call it. We say the barbs and the carbs.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I mean, you know, I'm just like, I just think y'all need to just resolve that yourselves.
That's how I felt.
As older vets in the game, like, leave the social media stuff alone. Like, leave it to somebody who can promote y'all stuff. But to try to blame fans and this and that, and then as you can see, even with taking Babyface off the thing, she's still tussling. She's still tussling on her tours. Yeah. So it's like, wow, like.
And see, at our show, it was a lot of sound issues, which actually were true. Like, there was a lot of feedback coming from the speakers and the mic. And then like in her ear, it was one way, like for her and the backup singers. So it was like, oh, it's too much percussion or this, like, y'all, she's like, we had a sound check, and she says it. And so she's like, Marty, look. And so where we were sitting, we could see them like trying to adjust it and mess with it. But I was like, okay, did somebody come in after sound check? What happened? And it kind of delayed things a little bit. But luckily for us, like I said, she performed her entire set. She didn't cut it short. Okay. But it was definitely a crazy experience.
I don't feel like everybody's been getting that same energy, because I feel like I've heard that she's had to like cut some songs out or cut songs short. I just don't understand. Like, if Beyonce, I've never known her to have a sound issue. It was only that one. And that was because the power went out, I think, in the city or in that area in general. But other than that, I'm like, you don't hear about Beyonce having these sound issues. You don't hear her going off on people.
Somebody was getting fired about the lights.
Well, yeah, she do that, but she's still singing between, like, she ain't stopping nothing.
She was still singing and performing as it was happening. It was like, okay, Marty, like that just happened in our ear.
I just feel like it don't. It's just like it just shouldn't be. If y'all rehearsed it, if y'all did a sound check, it shouldn't be these issues. And I know things happen, but
it almost kind of seems like when stuff like that happens, you wonder if somebody is trying to sabotage somebody, because that's how it almost kind of came across. Because it was like every other song, it was like it was hot. You could hear it popping. And you know, like I said, me having hearing issues and I can hear that, I'm like, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but like I told y'all, somebody also got in a fight, and then somebody had to be.
Now that part I can understand. If it's a fight, it's like, yeah, y'all gonna get that up out of here.
Yeah, somebody had to. The ambulance had to come. So I just was like, wow, like I was not expecting Babyface Anita Baker beef. And it's funny because when we talked about this on the Aquarius podcast, Daryl was saying that Babyface played the long game to get Anita Baker back from Boomerang soundtrack. Yeah. So Anita Baker was supposed to sing on the Boomerang soundtrack. He promised it to like the label or whatever. And I can't remember if she got pregnant or something, but something happened, and they was like, well, who's gonna sing this? Like, what? She's like, and so that's how we get Toni Braxton, because Toni Braxton sang the demo. Yeah. So.
Oh well, it worked out the way it needed to work out, because I think that's actually one of my favorite Toni Braxton songs. Love Should Have Brought You.
Yeah.
Back home.
Should I even listen?
Okay.
Should I even try? Will I just be hearing the same old as baby?
So iconic.
So iconic. Oh my God. Somebody put up a poll, and it's a tough poll. They said, would you want Babyface to produce your album or Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis? And I was like, I'm going with Babyface, because everything that he has done his, like, with Toni Braxton and stuff, has been iconic. And then he was like, was it really? And I'm like, if you're talking about love, marriage, and divorce, I enjoyed it. So I'm sorry, but I love Babyface.
I just feel like everything that him and Toni Braxton do is like gold. But with Babyface, you're also getting a singer.
Yes.
So he gets it, not just from a producer's angle. He gets it from a singer level. And he's going to sing. He's going to drop them vocals on the track before he even have you do your stuff on the track. Or and he's probably going to be in your background. You know what I'm saying? He does background vocals like just amazing.
It's just, I think that's one of my interviews. Like I'm putting it in the universe. Like I really want to interview Babyface, because I have an undenying love for Babyface, and I've met Babyface several times.
Okay.
Yeah, and I try not to fangirl, but I be wanting to fangirl.
Yeah,
and
he just so cool. And
he quiet. Yeah. He's really quiet, but I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking Babyface.
Right.
You know,
That's
but
amazing.
I don't know. That was a tough one, but I was not expecting that beef to be on my calendar.
Too old
for beef.
Yeah.
And I will say, I think that Anita Baker, with the cameras and stuff, she's trying to tell people, put your phone down, put your camera down, and immerse yourself in this moment. She's an Aquarius, so she wants you to feel and be in the moment, in that experience, because she like me, I too think I'm an experience.
Yeah.
So
and she's from that era.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't like back then. Yeah, they didn't have the phones out. You were living, you were watching her.
Yeah.
You know, even sometimes when I'm recording certain things, I feel so weird. I'm like, dang, okay, as I'm recording, am I looking at my phone? Or am I looking at you? And I sometimes feel weird at certain times just recording. Because
your eyes do like a weird thing sometimes? Because my eyes does something weird. Like I'm like looking, but then it's like, okay.
Yeah, well, it's just like the looking back and forth. And I'm like, I feel like I'm focusing more on looking back and forth than just living in the moment. Like, so like even going to like a Beyonce concert, I just can't, I'm not going to record certain things because I'm like, okay, I recorded this, I showed that, but I'm like, I need to be here in the moment and looking at the stage, like looking, being present, still. And, I'm from St. Louis, so it's like I still need to be aware of my surroundings.
Yep.
What they doing back there, what they doing.
Right.
I still want to be, looking around at everything.
So that's so funny because you remember when we were at Beyonce at SoFi, I said, Vernon, where are the emergency exits? And people think that I'm crazy when I say stuff like that. But
and you know what? It is a good idea to think about that in a stadium. And you're right. The way that they had that stadium set up was so weird.
So weird.
But I think about that when I go to clubs and events. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, is there a side door? Is there a back door? Can I see the exit signs?
Yeah.
I think about that and I'm like, am I weird for pre-thinking this?
I mean, we also are kind of on survival mode, but then you unfortunately had a friend that passed in that shooting in that club back in the day.
At the Pulse club shooting and things like that. And I just be thinking like, dang, like, where could he have gone? Mm-hmm. Could he have not left out sooner? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think about all that stuff.
Yeah, like you just never know. And we've been in a lot of situations in college parties where we've had to flee.
Yeah, some faster than others.
So ultimately, it'd be like that sometimes. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, what's one of the things on another thing that you didn't expect to happen this year?
So, like, okay, I know we got our life with the Alabama brawl. So crazy. So, and I was just saying, it's so crazy that I was just in Miami this past weekend, and we went on the boat trip, and it was given like we were like, do we need to have our folding chairs with us? Like, it was a lot of white people, but no, we didn't need it. It was really nice, and I forgot what was going on that weekend when the story came out.
Wasn't it Labor Day?
It was like, I feel like it was a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
But it was just like everybody had heard about the story.
Oh, it wasn't Labor Day, but I think
it was some holiday. It was something. It was something I thought.
Yeah, it probably was some Jubilee down south and some shit.
Something. But like just to hear about how these black people just came up and just stood up for this black security guy who was being, taunted by these white people who he was just doing his job. He was just trying to get them to move out the way and for their safety also.
Yes.
It's like, dang, I'm trying to help y'all and y'all coming at me crazy.
And he threw that hat up and it was like a bat signal.
Yeah. And like just to see like the black people just coming out, like you got people swimming across. Baby, we don't do that water and stuff like that. And in our clothes and in my shoes. Crazy. Yeah.
That was, I think as you saw it, I think the craziest part was that how many angles it was captured. And you was like, well, no, did you see this angle? And then you had some angle where somebody was on a bus. So it's lower. So now you got up close footage of what happened. And then it's like, oh my God, like I cannot believe this. This is so pivotal.
I know it came out when we were starting the school year.
Yeah, it was. I was in St. Louis when it happened.
Yeah. I remember like the black people when we talked about it with each other, it was like, oh man, because if I was there, I would have did such and such and such and that. But when we got to talking about it around white people, they did not know anything about it, and I'm just like, and y'all got social media like we do. Like, how did y'all not hear about y'all people?
Acting a fool
and getting attacked by these black people. I just thought that was so surprising that either they didn't hear, they were all just like, oh wait, I didn't know anything about it, or they just didn't want to talk about it.
Or they didn't, because they was afraid to say the wrong thing, and then next thing you know, it's a chair.
Right.
So, so I think ultimately, like that was the conversation that's happening, but also I think the conversation that they didn't want to have is to have to actually confront the racism that still exists in this country today. It doesn't affect them because they have this level and layer of privilege and protection that is afforded to them. But for us every day, we can't even rest comfortably in our home. And so that's why it was and is still a big thing for us.
Mm-hmm. Can't rest in our home, can't go to work and do our job.
Can't do our job.
It's like you just find yourself in these situations where it's like people want to fuck with us, and it's
consistently. And I don't know, like I said, I don't wish any ill intent on people, but I hope that we find our voice and find our way to not have to take bullshit no more. Like it's exhausting.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, we constantly find ourselves having to fight Even
Always.
still to this day, it's just it might not be slavery and things like that, but we're still fighting
Yeah.
for all kind of things: equal rights, equal pay, just respect. Period. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Let me see what else happened this year. I don't even like to get into like all the little beefs with like these little social media people. They always bringing up Blueface and Krishan.
Ugh, I just
Tamar getting into it with Love and Hip Hop people.
yeah,
Like
that's still so
Tommy.
weird.
It's just always silly. And then I just always find it so weird when they come out with these. I feel like the beefs are the new promotion. Notice how these beefs lead to people either getting deals or they have something out at the time that they're promoting, and it's just like so. That's why I'm like, it's weird to see Anita and Babyface get into it because it's like, okay, is this legitimate or is this like another thing to promote the tour?
Oh yeah,
Even like Tamar getting into it with Tommy, is this to promote her Love and War reunion tour, or are y'all really getting into it over this white man? It's just all so weird. Blueface, I know he did a interview recently with Funny Marco. A lot of people can't name a lot of Blueface songs. We know Bust Down Tatiana.
Yeah, that's it.
But now that has been overshadowed by the shenanigans that you portray in, the media. And so, yeah, like breaking down these little beefs and different things, it's weird because it's like, I don't even like to give it no more shine than it needs to.
Yeah, it's like that's one thing we can leave here.
I want to leave the drama. Like, let's just go back to positive promotion. If you have something, you have something coming out, what is wrong with
just going on the tour or post it every day?
Going on the tour and then showing like maybe you getting ready for the tour and things like that. Like, it doesn't always have to be a beef or something dramatic.
Yeah,
everything is just turned into like everything is produced by the Zeus Network. Everything don't need to be ratchet. Everything don't need to be a Love and Hip Hop moment.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
It's crazy.
I was gonna say it's kind of a Love and Hip Hop moment, but it's not. Sorry. Rihanna and the Super Bowl moment.
Okay.
Where she announces, but doesn't announce that she's pregnant again.
Right.
And then, by A$AP Rocky with her second kid. But now A$AP Rocky is in the middle of a case where it can potentially land him behind bars for X amount of years because they're trying to figure out if it was attempted murder or was it self-defense.
Currently right now?
Yeah, he has a whole, he got a charge against him against one of the people from the A$AP mob. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, it's kind of Love and Hip Hop.
Well, she claims to the bad girl title. I guess she wanted her a bad boy. I mean, he had gotten in trouble overseas, and this was before I think they settled down.
Yeah, it was like right before that.
So she knew the type of guy that
she was dating.
Y'all want to be bad and stuff, so you got to deal with what comes with being bad, I guess. Yeah, stuff like that just is like sending me like, okay, I'm not surprised, and
yeah, that's funny.
I signed up for,
yeah. Sending him positive vibes. I was like, girl, you about to be like the rest of us. Your baby daddy in jail, and you at home with 2 kids. I mean, here's the difference: you got $1 gajillion.
I mean, yeah, I mean that is true. I mean, at least she can cry with all her money and her 2 beautiful kids. I mean,
right?
And he not
she can cry in her in the Phantom. And not the Honda.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean it's levels, but it's still like, dang, you just when it comes to celebrities or people with this money, you just don't be expecting the drama and certain things. Like, y'all just want to have regular people problems so bad. That's what it comes off as.
Yeah. And it's like, is it really I don't know what the obsession is, because like there's certain people and certain things and you're just like how we were talking about on the way over here, like talking about like the rap and the fascination with like the ratchet era and all that stuff, which also Sexy Red is also an iconic moment for 2023.
Sexy Red.
Okay. Take it away.
I will say this to tie it all in. I think this goes for everyone. We can always say what we would do or how things would be if we had this or that. Cause it'd be like, dang, if I had all this money, you would not hear about me. And yes, that would be ideal. But you know, even rich people, they still want attention and things like that. But I think it happens in eras. So like we were talking about, you know, people being ratchet, the whole body image thing now with people getting BBLs, and it's like people wanted to now. It's just like a whole craze around. Just I think wanting to be a part of what's in the now. And it's just funny how with ratchetness and like the whole love and hip hop and you know fights and things like that. Sexy Red the rapper, she's controversial now because the type of music that she puts out is so ratchet, so vulgar, and it's just like why her of all people is getting this shine now. And you know it goes to what you all were talking about on the Aquarius podcast about being authentic and things like that. I think some people just win when they're just authentically themselves. And that's what she's doing. And she stood 10 toes down on who she is, how she was then. She's the same person. But you can't fault somebody. I mean, there's obviously a following for the type of music that she puts out.
Very relatable.
And like I was saying earlier, you know, it's really these young people that are making these people go viral. So, you know, she clearly has the audience. She has the young people backing her. I don't see it being too many people like our age and up who grew up with Nelly and Chingy. I couldn't see us getting into like a Sexy Red back in the day. I don't really. But I feel like there's always. We might have supported her because we're from St. Louis, but I think as big as she is now, I don't feel like that was. I just don't feel like that now. But I feel like in today's world, yes, there's an audience for talking about, you know, your pussy and the different diseases that you might have gotten while you had sex.
Shit, yeah, I forgot she did that. Yeah. I think there's always a lane in every so many years for it, just because we had Lil' Kim, we had Foxy Brown, you had
you always have people who push the limit.
Yeah.
And they push a little bit further. You know, like Trina came after.
Yeah, Trina.
After Audion. But you just, I mean, at this point, I feel like, and I just feel like with them pushing the envelope, you never know how far they're going to go. I think with Sexy Red, I really don't know how, I don't know how much further we can go after this. I mean, what else can you talk about, you know?
Your booty hole brown, your pussy is pink.
I mean, you done talked about your whole everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
The inside of it, the outside of it, what happened to it. I mean, I just don't know. So for me, I think with Sexy Red being from St. Louis, I have a very love-hate because, like I said, I come from an era where, yes, we might have had Lil' Kim and stuff, but it just was like the vulgarity wasn't quite to this level. I'm here for her, you know, success and her being, you know, just a chick from the north side of St. Louis. Not everybody gets the opportunity. It's
so funny because the moment I saw her, I said, "Oh, she's from the north side," and it's so funny. And they were like, "How do you know?" I said, "You can look at her and tell." Yeah. And that is no shade, but it's just when different. You know.
And it's just like people have different looks. Even when she talked about on the Breakfast Club interview how she used to do hair back in the day.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised by that. A lot of chicks, in St. Louis or from the hood or whatever is at home doing hair.
Yeah,
like it's just an easy way to make money. So I'm here for the authenticity. I actually like some of the songs that she puts out in his music, but I also listen to some of the newer music and things like that. But it's not for everyone,
and that's okay.
And it's okay. You don't have to listen to it.
And that's how I feel. I was like, I don't think there needs to be any think pieces about it. It's either you like it or you don't, or you just like indifferent.
And if you don't, move on.
And that's how I feel, because I'm like, I think the think pieces what is becoming frustrating is that people feel like it's this whole plan and plot to break down black women, and I was like, y'all are really overthinking this, and it's really not. And you think you have this third eye open, and you don't, because I'm like, we do a lot of stuff and harm to each other just like any other race does. And like I said, but it's just also magnifying for us because we subscribe to our people. I'm always rooting for people to win, and I ain't gotta also, I don't have to buy your music while I'm rooting for you. You
Right.
know, like, I want you to win, girl. Like, I'm rooting for everybody, but like Issa said, and it just be that I can do that and not listening to your music.
What is wrong with seeing this black girl from the hood make it? You know,
Yeah.
and then everybody doesn't make it out of St. Louis.
Yeah.
And especially like rappers to be in the forefront. I mean, who have we gotten besides Nelly and Chingy? Who has come after that has been really this big?
Yeah, that's
You
real.
know what I'm saying? It's been a long time. So, and then it might be surprising to see those Sexy Red come after all that time.
Yeah.
But it's somebody. It's somebody getting money. It's somebody with the opportunities.
Yeah, and that's how I look at it.
That's how I look at it. I mean, it's success, it's the opportunity, and why not?
Yeah, you put that best. We rooting for you, girl.
I'm rooting for Sexy Red.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Because we out here in Miami.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to say probably the biggest moment of 2023 outside of aliens. Because it was like, oh, yeah.
That's like a topic every year.
It's like, I know. It's like, okay,
Just so that we can know that it's real.
Hey, because that girl on that plane said, "You're not real." Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Can we talk about all the airplane drama? Now, I will say, I spent all of Christmas at the airport. I've been at several airports. Majority of Christmas Day, while everybody was at
mine
home
was
unwrapping
Christmas Eve. I
presents
was in the airport all day.
I will say this. Thank you, God. No flights had to be, had to go back.
Yeah, mine was
had to have an
300.
emergency stop. Because every time I see these videos of these people doing this stuff on a flight, I'm just like, why would you all wait to get on the plane? Mm-hmm. It's already delays. It's like ever since the pandemic, we've been getting nothing but delays.
Yeah.
It's the holidays is going to be even worse. Why would you wait to go up in the air to start this drama, to act a fool? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just been ridiculous. And it's like you all are doing this for attention at this point.
Because there's nothing else that makes sense about it.
We don't get these airport videos. We're getting airplane videos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't y'all wait at the airport all that time that y'all had to wait around? Y'all could have turned up there then when they was switching y'all flight and switching gates.
Yeah.
Why didn't y'all get into it in the hallway?
Yeah, but that was the whole thing. Like even part of my whole thing is like having to have a rant about experiences that we all pay for. We're all going to the same place. We're all doing the same thing. So why can't we just enjoy it? Why are you going to do something that holds up this moment for everybody else? Because you, like the lady who pulled her pants down because she had to pee and they wouldn't let her go. And it's just like, okay.
Bitch, it's two bathrooms.
It's
two crowded on the front, wait till the one to the back.
Or whatever the case may be. It's like, okay, we're in turbulence. You can't wait right here because something can happen. Then we're liable. But then now, okay, so now you're going to pull your pants down in front of everybody. So now you got to see the cops when you get off. And now you got to register as a sex offender because you pulled your pants down in public.
Right.
Like what's going people don't think about things long term and how it can affect them. But I don't understand what's happening when it comes to anything. Like it's just something always at an airport. Somebody throwing something, somebody doing something, somebody wanting to fight, and I'm just I don't think I care about people that much. Because
not to get that type of attention.
Not to get that type.
Not in that way.
Because it's just, to me, it's like, okay, just like the lady with the seat. I'm like, okay, girl. All that's going to happen is either you're going to have to at some point get up. Sidebar, she was trying to pray over the girl sitting next to her in the seat the girl told me.
Really?
Yes. She was doing a lot. Y'all have to watch the Aquarius podcast to know the story about my Color Purple experience in St. Louis. It was just very ghetto. Yeah. But yeah, it's just I don't get that shit.
I mean, I noticed that like I said, the pandemic changed a lot of things. And I noticed that once people started going back outside, they really started showing up and showing out.
Yeah.
Especially the older
They
people.
zombies in different form though. Like what we would have thought would have happened like in a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
I feel like because a lot of people felt like they didn't get to do a lot of things, once we got to be outside, they overcompensated that. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I never would have thought that y'all would take it to
this extreme.
To this extreme up in the air. Like, y'all want to be clowning this much? Like, were you really sheltered in that long that now you just need to go outside and just act a damn fool? I just don't get it. Like, I don't remember hearing about all these stories like this before the pandemic.
Same. It's something happened, and there was like also pandemic was Trump era, and we still are kind of in the middle because I mean, you know, they had got his ass and waiting to see what's happening, and even where they made him ineligible to even run for president in certain states. So I think it's just a lot, and I think this country has a big mental health issue that they're still not fully addressing. I think it's slowly getting there, but
Yeah. It's
but
so crazy.
It's so crazy. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up with the hottest topic of the year, because so many different things. I feel like it's still so much that we missed.
Right.
And somebody gonna say in the comments, "Oh, y'all didn't say this or say that." Well, look, it's only so many.
And then it's like you forget because it's like shit come out every week, every month.
Yep.
You can't, like I said, you can't possibly remember even the stuff from January, February.
Look, all I got is the aliens and Rihanna having a baby, and at that point, and then I know Prince William. No, what's the youngest one? Charles. Yeah. Is that the little boy? What's the redhead boy name?
Ain't it Charles?
Is it?
I don't keep up with them white people like that.
No, Harry.
Oh, Harry.
I don't keep up with the white. Listen, I'm into it because of the crown.
Say Harry and Meghan Markle.
That's what I'm about to say. Well, what's Meghan Markle?
I'm gonna say I know the black people. Meghan Markle.
Yeah, so he had a tell-all book that was apparently really, really good too. But you know, I've been watching The Crown, so I will say his daddy finally got the throne. And this was the first coronation in 70 years. And if you watch The Crown, you will understand
I'm
why.
still on season 1. Ain't that sad? Well,
you gotta get through it because you will understand how the hell.
That when the old girl just became queen because her dad died.
Yeah,
that's how far I am.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you very early. Okay, then never mind. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about Puff Daddy. We're gonna end it out there, and
that's still developing. That's
still developing.
We still ain't even done. So this is finna now roll over into 2024.
Yeah. Just a little bit before Thanksgiving, Puff Daddy was sued by Cassie, his ex-girlfriend of 10 years, for abuse. And so many other things that happened, you know, where attempted murder, where he blew up Kid Cudi's car. They didn't say it was Kid Cudi in the deposition, but once they figured out who it was, he did not deny that did not happen to him, that his car didn't randomly blow up in his driveway. He would make Cassie sleep with prostitutes, and they would call them freak-offs. And he just was exploiting her. Also part of it because things cross state lines, sex trafficking. And she sued him for a whopping, I think it was like $30 or $57 million. Wow. Something crazy, but his attorneys told him to give it to her prior, and he didn't want to, and so here we are.
And it's like he paid that money, and then everybody else came out and said, "Oh well, shit, I got a story. How much can I get?"
Yeah, and like I said, for those, if you want to go and follow our investigation on the Everyone Needs an Aquarius podcast, you know, one of my friends was her assistant and told me some stories back in the day, and I was just like, oh my God, you know? So before I even read it, I was like, oh, he did this shit. Whatever it is, he did. And I think that it is, you know, people can say it's a money grab. Why didn't she go to the cops? And I was like, y'all have to understand the law and the statute of limitation. And she was almost up, but it was like somebody had convinced, I think it was like her husband and like a friend that, her a push. Yeah, it was like a husband, like a friend or somebody that gave her that push, because she was almost at the statute of limitations where she could file anything, you know, because she was just like, I'm out of this. I want to let it go. But he, you know, it's just really crazy knowing what people are capable of. And like I was saying earlier, like, you know, with so many more people coming out, you have artists speaking about what they witnessed just even working with him and saying I did not feel safe. I feel like it was a very hostile environment. And now you have other people, well, back at Howard, he did this to me. You have other people saying him and Aaron Hall did this to me. And I mean, it's just really, really chaotic and crazy. And like I told y'all, I was like, you know, I think a lot of stuff was like you know, in plain sight, and people just chose to disregard what was happening because we like when we see people that look like us thriving in positions of power and making money, we're like, y'all, you're trying to tear somebody down. But sometimes some people just are evil, terrible ass people.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. I don't like how all of this has turned. And like I said, even with just this Diddy situation alone, this is now about to roll over into 2024.
Yeah. Because now we got TD
And then
Jakes.
who knows who's going to, like I'm saying, yeah, TD Jakes just came out. That's the whole thing. And what I'm seeing is that, you know, with social media and everything, they are taking people to task nowadays. These people who we don't want to see, who we didn't expect, who we didn't know was doing this and that. The truth is coming out on people. Mm-hmm. The accusations are coming out. The allegations are coming out. And it's only going to get worse over time because more and more is coming out as time develops. And it's just unfortunate. It's like, well, who's next? I know even with all this, I watched Married to Medicine on Bravo, and they have been coming after Dr. Jackie lately.
Oh, yes.
Dr. Jackie, who has been non-problematic, a stand-up woman, doesn't have drama. The only drama she ever had on the show really was when her husband cheated on her. So it's not even drama that she's causing, but they are taking her to task now because they are saying like, oh, she's like doing stuff on the low, like her treatment of people, and you know, she just does things a little, and so it just be different things. So different people have different stories. They're saying that she's not this great doctor that she's portrayed. And it's so unfortunate to see the downfall of people. That's my whole biggest thing. Like just the downfall of successful people. But hey, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, if you're treating people right, you don't have to worry about these
I always
things,
say that. It takes nothing to be a kind, decent human being.
It takes nothing to mind your business and just do what the fuck you're supposed to be. Just do. Yeah. Just do right by people. You know what I'm saying?
And it's that bad. But that's too easy. That makes too much sense.
It does.
So I think even in recent experiences that I've had, I just like, you know, stumbled across information, you know, where I'm like, oh shit, like it's making me even, and mine is like with a doctor of mine, I'm like, wait, wow, like she said what?
Right.
And it makes you like look at them, and I'm like, y'all know y'all can lose y'all licenses with stuff like this, like the people. But people don't know that process. Like you can report people to the board,
right? And
enough complaints, you can lose your license. But if they can find if they can find these interactions to be factual, right.
But also with that, and it ties back into the whole social media thing, and like these people acting up and clowning. People are also giving out think pieces and putting out these allegations to have their own claim to fame. Yeah. So we can't believe everything.
Yep, that's true.
You know, it's like I said, it's not far-fetched to believe like, dang, this person really did this and that. But with this world and with social media and people putting things out, you just don't know.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's just a mess.
I think sometimes, like, you know, the running joke is that Daryl and I joke about is when it comes to Diddy is if he will just kind of go off grid and kind of similar to like a Russell Simmons who went to a completely different country.
Yeah.
But not sure if his ego will allow that to happen. And I think what's going to happen with somebody like Puffy is just like, it's an example, and people can say, oh, he pissed somebody in the Illuminati. I believe that stuff to potentially be true. Yes and no.
Yeah.
But it's also, I always tell people, the chickens always come home to roost. It's the age old saying, and we know that at some point, if you consistently are mistreating people, somebody's going to get fed up and tired.
Yeah.
And in this case, Cassie created a layer of protection for a lot of people to come forward and speak their truth about their interactions with him. Because if something would have happened to Cassie, and us knowing Homeboy's track record, it would have been easy to tie it to him. So now, not only that, but I created a level of immunity for all these people, and that's what's happening.
Yeah. So Yeah, we'll see. It's definitely taking over 2023. So, hey, look forward to a great 2024.
Yes, and with that said, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe. I can't even.
Like, share, and subscribe. And she does this. I don't even do this.
Do it. Just close it out, Barney. Close it out.
Don't forget, guys, to like, share, and subscribe. Comment. Let us know what you love. What were your big moments of 2023? And, yeah.
We'll see y'all. Wait, actually, I want to ask a question to both of y'all, since you want to pop back in here. No, it's not a bad question. Okay. If you look back over for your personal self for 2023, what would you say in one word you would describe 2023?
Eventful.
Okay.
Very eventful.
Very eventful.
Because there have been highs, there have been lows, but it's been a lot of moments. So it's been a very eventful year.
Okay.
I call it Jonathan Majors year.
So that's what you're going to call it?
He had one of the best years, and it's the worst year at the same time.
Okay, like, that's fair.
It was some soup. This dude was in all this stuff, and it was messed up too.
It's been a Jonathan Majors year.
The description of the year, Jonathan Majors.
Okay. You know what? I like that.
I like that. Yeah, a Jonathan Majors year.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I would say for me, I would say reflective, and then that going back to reflect and review and process allowed me to grow. So I am optimistic again going into 2024 because I was very optimistic this year.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it really wasn't a bad year for me. I took some huge losses. Like I said, I just had to grow and take a step back. And that's okay. And it's all going to be all right.
Yeah.
So with that said, y'all.
I know that's right.
Leave us your word in the comments. And we will see y'all next year.
Bye.